Lytudiep greets everyone. Challenges always happen in love. But if you try, you will smile. Today we will continue to listen to this emotional story about love. James, the successful CEO, woke up after a long night full of deep thoughts. The breakfast, prepared by his mother as usual, sat untouched on the table. But today, he couldn't bring himself to eat. A heavy feeling weighed on his chest. His mind was still filled with images of Diep and Tongue, his close friend who had once helped her, sitting close together in a moment of intimacy. Though he knew that Diep didn't have feelings for Tongue, the image pierced his heart like a dagger. He wondered if Diep still loved him, or if she was looking for a different kind of solace. His mother, noticing his discomfort, sat beside him and gently asked, "Are you still upset about Diep?" James nodded slowly, staring out the window, as if searching for something to fill the emptiness he felt inside. He was torn, unsure what to do next. His mother sighed softly and placed a comforting hand on his. When you love someone, emotions often overpower reason. But to keep that love, you must face the truth, not run from it. James nodded, feeling a sense of clarity wash over him. He realized that he couldn't continue living in fear or uncertainty. Today, he would seek Diep out, confront her, and finally get the answers he needed. As he drove towards Diep's new place, his mind was clouded with worry and uncertainty. However, fate had another twist in store. On his way, James unexpectedly ran into John, a former rival, who had once been involved in a shady scheme that James had barely escaped from. John informed him of something that shocked him to his core. Tongue had been manipulated by John to sow discord between him and Diep. The entire misunderstanding, the pain James had endured, had all been orchestrated by someone else. His heart raced as he made his way to Diep's house, hoping to make amends. When he arrived, he found her tending to two pigeons in a small garden. Her peaceful actions were in stark contrast to the chaos swirling in his mind. Upon seeing him, Diep froze, her eyes wide with surprise. "Why are you here?" she asked, her voice trembling. Without saying a word, James walked up to her and pulled her into a tight embrace. "I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. I let jealousy and fear cloud my judgment." Diep broke down his arms, tears streaming down her face as she sobbed. "Do you have any idea how lonely I felt? I thought you had abandoned me. You didn't answer my calls. You didn't try to find me. I thought I had lost you forever." James lowered his head, his voice full of regret. "I know I was wrong, but I'm here now, and I won't let you be alone anymore." They held each other for a long time, no longer separated by misunderstandings, only by the deep love that still remained. But the peace they had just found was short-lived. John was still out there, plotting to harm both James and Diep. Determined to protect her, James decided to take Diep to a secluded place, far away from danger. He found a small house hidden deep in the woods. surrounded by green fields, a pond, and the peaceful sound of birds singing each morning. At first, Diep hesitated, worried about what others might think of them living together before marriage. But James reassured her, "We'll each have our own room. You don't need to worry. This is for your safety, because I can't let anyone hurt you again." The days they spent in hiding brought a strange but welcome peace. Diep found solace in gardening, taking care of chickens, and sharing her simple dreams. "I don't need anything grand," she said one day as she and James sat together. "Just a small house with someone I love, living slowly, peacefully." James smiled warmly at her, his heart swelling with affection. "Once everything is settled, I'll take you to the countryside, away from all the noise and distractions, just as you want." Together, they talked about their future, how they would sell natural products online, and how they could help others find the same kind of peace they had found. James promised to support her every step of the way, from technology to marketing, believing that her kind heart would eventually be rewarded. One rainy evening, as they shared a simple meal, James looked into Diep's eyes and spoke softly. "No matter what happens, trust me. I will never abandon you again." Diep smiled through her tears, knowing that love wasn't always perfect. It required forgiveness, trust, and courage to face the pain. In the end, John's plans were foiled. He was caught once again, and James was cleared of any wrongdoing. His work life returned to normal, but he was no longer the same. No longer consumed by the rush of the corporate world. James spent his time with Diep, helping her build a new life. Together, they left the city and moved to the countryside, where they could truly live the life they had always dreamed of. One afternoon, as the sun set over the green fields, James took Diep's hand and, looking into her eyes, asked in a soft voice, "Will you marry me?" Diep nodded, tears filling her eyes as she smiled. And together, they walked forward, no longer afraid, no longer uncertain. Their love was stronger than ever, and with it, they would face whatever came their way. As James had learned from his mother, love must be genuine. It must face the truth, and it requires the courage to keep the person you love. And so, with love as their foundation, they began their new journey together, no longer burdened by doubts or misunderstandings, only filled with hope for the future. Maybe you have encountered it, so try hard to move towards the future. Thank you.